So I'm switching from a 180 section to a 160 section. Hopefully this will give me more acceleration and allow the motor to work a little bit easier when I'm coming out of corners, also at the start. So it's quite a bit, visually it's quite a bit more narrow. It's a little bit shorter of a tire as well, so that'll change my gearing. I'm gonna see how this feels when I get out on the track. It'll probably be okay. It'll limit my top gear, but my top speed, but that's the choices that I have. So this is going on now. This might be awesome. Now remember, if you have a single side swing arm like this, a single retaining nut, that it is required to safety wire the retainer. So since I've moved the rear down, the forks are pointing more forward than they were before, and that's going to slow my steering. What I don't want to happen is to leave it like that. So in order to bring the forks back to the proper angle, the rake, I'm going to lower them in the triple clamps. One thing I'm going to do first is put a zip tie exactly where the fork tube goes through the triple tree. That way I know where to start. You can use a piece of tape, whatever. That way when I move the fork up in the yokes, I can measure the distance accurately from where it was to where I put it. So you can see here, there's where it was, that line, where my fingernail is. And so I moved that up it's about 10 mil. It's half the difference in diameter. So the difference in radius from the old to the new, it's about 10 mil. It's a little less. So I moved this, so it dropped the rear that much. So I moved the forks down that much. I'm gonna check my ride height and make sure that checks out, and it should be good to go. Thanks to my buddy Abin for coming out and hanging out with us and taking pictures. Love you, dude. About to get ready for the first race. I'm very excited. The track is dry. So here's where I made my first mistake. On the starting line, we were supposed to start in 2 waves, which I didn't see. So I went when the flag dropped. Realizing what I had done, I stopped and let every single person pass me again before I went. So I did the right thing, got out of the way. Now I have to catch up with everyone. So here comes some decent racing. I'm hoping at least I can catch a few of these 300s. My goal was to pass 3. So as I'm working my way through the pack, this kid on the KTM here, in the yellow shirt, he's kind of squirrely in my opinion. Obviously he's a provisional novice, so I do need to watch out for him, but he's a little bit more squirrely than the rest of the dudes out there. So I tried to stay off him as much as I could until I had a really clean pass. Coming up on the last lap here, I had my chance to make that clean pass. So he went wide in turn one, went over the banking, so I was able to make the inside there. Pretty clean, pretty far away, felt good about that, but I knew I had to keep this lead because I didn't know what he was going to do to get it back. And sure enough, watch this. About hit my front tire on a straight, making a pass. So I was kind of done with playing that game for the rest of this race. I was willing to accept where I was in the pack and just finish the last lap without being taken out. I'm happy with that. And on the last lap, he pulled away from me on the straights again, and I just couldn't close the distance. But that's all right. It's a 390, I'm a 250. There's the checkered flag. It was a great race. I'm glad we got to race and it wasn't wet. It was a fantastic time. Also, thank you so much to Michelle for being the best pit crew. She made this experience so much better than any race before. That was a great day of racing. The next morning, it's time for another day of racing. Today I'll be racing Superbike. The bike is ready to go. All I have to do is put the cameras on and wait for third call. I'm so ready to race, and this time I'm going with my proper wave. So hands up for me, and I'm paying attention to the second flag drop. Won't make that mistake again. And once again, I'm starting from the back row because I am in the 250 class and all these other guys are in the 300 class. So that's fine with me. It gives me some people to follow and hopefully pass. Into the back side of the track. I knew that dude was back there somewhere. That's all right. I'll get him on this corner. He slows down a lot more than I do entering, so there we go. Got that spot back. I held him off for another lap in the tight sections, but here on this back straight, I just lose to the horsepower. I'm going to try my best to get him on this last lap, but this is the only chance I have. In the end, I just wasn't close enough. I couldn't make a pass because I was so far away. Here's the checkered flag. That's it for Superbike. That's it for the weekend. We had a fantastic time in Houston, thanks to the CMRA for putting on the event and for MSR Houston for hosting. Straight through the garage and onto the trailer. Everything is packed up. We're ready to go. What a great weekend. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thanks to CMRA for putting on the event. Thanks to my sponsor Vortex for the sprockets and chains and the awesome track stands. Please subscribe and say hi in the pits. See you at the race.